Have you noticed that lately banks started to act like your nosy neighbors? Politely making inquiries about the stuff you really don't want to share? You log into your e-banking, maybe to check your balance, and suddenly a pop-up appears. Please update your income information. Okay, but why? Aren't banks supposed to track and know everything? Well, those who live nearby may care about us to some extent. Can we really say the same thing about banks? Well, let's explore what's hiding behind this seemingly innocent question. In this current digital age, we've become used to apps tracking us a little too well. Maybe you were chatting online about how you need new shoes, and suddenly an ad follows you till you actually buy a pair. Even innocent scrolling through Reels can feel intrusive when your feed gets overwhelmed with something that you've accidentally lingered on for more than 2 seconds. Powerful algorithms learn your patterns while trying to influence your decisions, not by force, but by timing. By nudging at the best possible moment, catch you sufficiently bored and make you shrug your shoulders and basically say, "Oh well, why not? I don't mind having a pillow shaped like a cat, it's cute." And if advertisers are able to gently influence you by knowing stuff about you, the banks have an even bigger reason to learn your habits. They are the ones with the money, and they want your money. For them, the stakes are way higher, except they already have fancy systems in place that track when, where, and how much money you spend. They know where you work, and they process the very money you earn from your job. Their algorithms know all kinds of intimate information. Whether this is to protect your money from fraud or to keep track of you, it's fair to say that banks follow your lifestyle very closely. That's why it's so confusing when people online keep posting about their bank apps, suddenly asking, "So, how much do you make these days?" Not only that, but it might even offer rewards like bonus points and exclusive offers just for updating your income. Are they really that desperate? While the official explanation makes sense, the fact that banks need this information has opened a door to some pretty cool and sci-fi-like conspiracy theories that we left to the very end. Now, this might come as a surprise, but banks don't actually know how much you make. Yep, the same people who approve your loans don't know about all your income. Sounds almost impossible. Yes, they see where you shop, what bills you pay, and when you miss a payment. However, they are uncertain when it comes to your entire yearly income. So, what does this mean? When you swipe your card, every transaction leaves a digital footprint. The bank sees where the money goes. However, where the money comes from can get a bit messy. Most people in the US juggle multiple accounts and apps, so the info about the true income is all over the place. You've got a checking account here, a savings account there, maybe a credit card from a totally different company. Then there's the side hustle money. Some people get paid through online platforms or apps like Uber, Etsy, or PayPal. And that's not even counting digital wallets, investing apps, or crypto platforms. Let's not forget the cash you got for mowing your neighbor's lawn. All of that basically blurs the line between spending, saving, and investing, leaving banks to play a guessing game about how much money you really have. After the pandemic, millions of Americans lost or left traditional jobs. Thanks to the internet and social media, it's easier than ever for regular people to team up and offer their own services. Suddenly, the old system that banks used before became unreliable. Also, self-employment can be tricky. One month, you're doing great, the next one, not so much. So now banks are a bit paranoid. Who's one bad week away from missing payments? This situation forces banks to go for the nosy coworker method, which means repeatedly asking about what else you do for a living until you submit an answer. After all, many of us would do our research if we wanted to lend money to a stranger. It works even with people we know. There's an old saying that claims, "When you lend your friend money, hug them. You might never see them again." But banks can't afford that luxury. And now they're using algorithms as the first step in figuring out the risk assessment, meaning they largely automate this process. Now, if you're suddenly making more money, congratulations, you've just leveled up, and the algorithm will give you a thumbs up. You might even get a higher credit limit. On the other hand, if they discover that you're earning less or something seems suspicious, it'll either raise a flag or turn you down completely. But here's an interesting thought. Knowing all of what we covered, is it possible to somehow fool the system? What happens if I submit wrong information, exaggerate, or hide my income? Well, keep in mind that the system never forgets. If you ignore the pop-up, the bank will probably use what they already have. In fact, you could probably disable those offers, usually in the app or by calling the bank, similar to unsubscribing from those amazing deals you never open emails. It's not mandatory for now. However, if you decide to upgrade your financial status a little and punch in an exaggerated number, the system might actually treat you better for a while. You could get higher spending limits or better service because the algorithm likes it when it sees big numbers next to your name. The keyword here is momentary. That little trick can backfire badly. If someone lies and gets approved for a loan this way and doesn't pay it back, it could be seen as misrepresentation or even fraud. Uh-oh. This could lead to possible civil or criminal penalties. Ruining your future credit potential could be the last of your worries. And that's just for basic small loans. For something big and long-term, like a house, those applications will still have to go through a thorough verification. Lenders will ask for statements to prove what you make, and no matter what you provide as your yearly income, it still won't get you anywhere if you can't back it up. Finally, just for the fun of it, and we like fun here at Brightside, let's entertain some wild speculations. If it's not just gathering info for the risk assessment, what else could it be? Some people think this is just step one in a much bigger plan. Basically, a slow march toward building full financial profiles that don't just track what you spend, but why. What if your bank knows when you're stressed and how that affects your financial decisions? What's the best moment when you're most likely to click accept on that higher interest offer? Okay, that does sound a bit too silly, although it might not be as crazy as it seems. Big banks already test something called predictive analytics, basically algorithms that study how and when you spend. Not just the numbers, but the patterns. Shop more at night? Skip a few days between card swipes? Pay off a loan earlier than expected? The system notices and learns. In theory, this could make banking more personalized. You could start getting offers not just based on income, but on how you feel. Tough month? Don't stress. We've got a personal loan that fits your needs. A lot of people are wary of taking loans even when they really need one, and this type of targeted marketing might just be that one small push that someone requires. Some people take it a step further and believe banks don't actually want you out of debt and will keep tempting you to extend it with strategically timed offers. The idea is that your feelings, habits, and financial signs are all just pieces of data waiting to be exploited in some way. Banks might not even need your full income. Maybe what they really want is to fine-tune their predictions about what you'll do next. Or maybe we're just, overthinking it. Maybe it really is about improving service. Anything that makes banking faster or safer sounds like a good deal, especially if it saves you a trip to the branch. Still, even if completely unfounded, for sci-fi fans like me, it's hard not to imagine robot bankers quietly studying your mood. Dun 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 dun. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.